Teresa. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Sunday to you if you're catching the live stream. And whatever day you're catching it, if you're catching it in the replay, that's just fine as well. Happy new moon to you as well. We're going to be in those energies for a couple of days. So, welcome, welcome. And we'll get started here in a little bit. Hey, Miss Brittany, welcome in. Happy Sunday to you and happy new moon to you. Hey, Niana, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I don't know about you, but these energies hitting hard for me. They are hitting me hard. I have been worthless the past few days. How you been doing? I was just sitting here for something to do. Oop, my aunt is here with divine intervention. I love that. We're not pulling cards tonight. I'm just doing, like I said, was busy work while somebody was coming in and Horus with manifestation vortex. I say manifestation vortex indeed. Everybody got their intentions already out there for the new moon. I didn't do a formal thing because, yeah. Hey, Paul, how are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Happy Sunday and happy new moon to you. Hi, Hassan, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Mm, interesting. No, I don't. This ain't that type of program. I'm so sorry. You probably thinking about the PT experience or something. I don't dance on here. But thank you for the invitation. But yeah, no. Mm. Hey, hey, Dr. Strange Doom, welcome. How are you? How are you? How is everybody? How is this new moon energy treating you? Mm. Well, hello, Oliver from New Zealand. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you. Appreciate it, Dr. Strange Doom. I've been thinking about getting out there. We didn't do anything formal for the new moon, but it's definitely we're gonna be in those energies for a couple of days, y'all. Make sure you get the you said sent the email, your phone and app got all changed. Did you change it? If you I saw a second email that you sent me, Paul. It was a long. It was like the video on it was over like an hour and a half long. I watched part of it. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you I watched all of it, but good. I'm glad you're doing well, Doctor Strangestone. I did see that your it looked like your information had been changed, but are you still able to access the group? Because I didn't do anything with that. If you changed your phone number or your email, I guess you'd have to opt back in, or I'm not sure how you do that. Once you've been in the group, you should be able to just get back in. It just shows that your um, information changed, but I couldn't really see what well, I didn't go in and look for the phone number to see what the change was. I just thought it was because you changed your number or carrier or something. I'm saying when I went into the group chat, I saw that your information had changed. In fact, even my boyfriend had even left the group because he did something with his phone as well. But I mean, he should be able to opt back in, and you should be able to as well. Because I didn't exit you from the group. It just your information, I guess your metadata or whatever with WhatsApp changed because you changed your phone, but you should still be able to access the group. After the live, I'll go in and see if I have to send you another invitation. I'm happy to do that as well. Oh, goodness, y'all. I wish I had something. Things are changing. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. Yeah. As long as you're satisfied with what's going on, you're good. How's everybody else doing? Hey, Chino B, welcome. Hey, Julie. You might want to go slow on the spamming because the mods will get you out of here quick for that. Don't do it to yourself, Julie. If you want to hear what we got going on, you're welcome to stay, but you are not welcome to spam. That is rude and it will not be tolerated here. Okay? Just fair enough warning. However you feel about Yeshua, I love him dearly too. I know he loves me, but I don't need you in here proselytizing and I don't need you spamming the group, okay? You're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe and all the rest of that, but that is not helpful, nor is it what Jesus told you to do. Jesus didn't go around cramming nothing down nobody's throat. So whatever pastor done told y'all that everywhere you're supposed to go, you're supposed to just cram that down everybody's throat, they lied to you, okay? That's not helpful. Being a fanatic is not helpful at all. Yeshua was not a fanatic, okay? McTwist, same for you. I know who Jesus is. I know who Yeshua is too, not the same beings. And I recognize Yeshua all day. That Jesus thing, do your homework. But you don't need to tell nobody in here 5 times. That's spamming. That is trying to take over the chat. I don't need you to do that. I'm well aware that Yeshua loves me and everybody else on this planet, okay? Just so you're aware. I don't know what make Christians think that they're supposed to go somewhere just literally cramming stuff down people's throats. How do you even know I'm Christian? How do you even know I want to know that? I mean, as it just so happens, I do love Yeshua very much, but I am not Christian because I have learned the truth. And I have a right to not be Christian. And it's perfectly okay. It's very presumptuous of somebody to assume that I don't already know that he loves me. That's the part that pisses people off with Christians, and then you wonder why people always up in your face or persecuting you and everything else. It's extremely arrogant. Jesus don't want you to tell me that because he tells me himself every day. Stop it. That is extreme arrogance, and Christians make me sick to death with it. He was not sacrificed because he loved me. He was sacrificed because the Jews wanted him dead. And then the Romans turned around and patched him in the middle of a Yahwistic lie. You should know what it is that you believe in, Miss Julie. They have lied to you and bamboozled you. Yes, Jesus loves me because Jesus wasn't Christian McTwist 42. That's what people don't understand. That's why I'm saying y'all jump in here and you have no idea what you're talking about. Jesus did not die on no cross for nobody. There's plenty of folks in India that happen to know that he lived to the age of 80. That cross mess was a paganistic lie cooked up by Emperor Constantine, who was a pagan sun worshiper. The symbol of the cross is a pagan phallic symbol of sun worship. You have no idea what you're talking about. That part. If you stick around and talk less and listen more, you might find out something, but we hadn't even gotten into what we were discussing yet before you jumped in here with the Jesus loves you 15 times. That's not helpful. And especially since you don't know what you're talking about. We talk about that all the time on this channel. Yeshua, go back and read the Gospel of John, read chapter 8. Yeshua was telling the Jews through his entire ministry that in worshiping Yahweh, they got it wrong, that they were worshiping the devil. The current day Jews, no, I can't tell you where they came from, because the original Jews, the current day Jews are not the original Jews. The original Jews came from Abraham. If you go back and read in Genesis, when Abram, his father, Terah, I think was Abram's father, was your educational experience on religious studies? Religious studies in a university setting will only lead you lost, McTwist. So I don't need you to come in here talking about my educational experience. If you don't want to hear what I have to say, you can scroll. Jesus didn't back down, and that's exactly why they killed him. He didn't die for us because he had to die for us. That's the lie they done told y'all to get you to buy into, that blood ritual and satanic sacrifice, that witchcraft that they have y'all doing and believing in with the whole Easter story and all the rest of that. That is a blood curse on the line of Yeshua HaMashiach. Go read it. Deuteronomy will tell you any man hung from a tree is cursed. And Paul doubled down on that and said, oh, it was so lovely that Jesus was willing to wear that curse for us. But he didn't have to do that. The Jews hated Yeshua for telling them the truth, because he told them straight up, you don't know my Father. My Father is love. My Father judges not. I judge lightly, and my Father judges not. You don't know the one who sent me. You worship your father, the devil. He's a liar and a manslayer and the father of the lie. And the Jews were worshiping Yahweh. He told them straight up, Yahweh is Satan the devil. And if you understood real history instead of just the Sunday school pablum they give you, and everything I'm saying, you can go look up for yourself. I'm not going to do your homework for you, because we talk about this all the time on the channel, but it's out there. This isn't news. Yahweh has worn many names throughout time through many different religious pantheons. In the Greek pantheon, he was Zeus. In the Nordic pantheon, he was Odin. And he's been Baal. He's been Beelzebub. He's been a lot of different things. But his very first name and title when he got here on earth from Nibiru was Enlil, and his title was Satan of the Eden. And you can go look that up. I didn't make that up. So that part. And Yeshua, again, well, you've been deceived, McTwist. And if you don't like what I got to say, all you got to do is leave. Okay. Have a good night, Paul. That's all you got to do. Yeah. Again, he don't know if you did your homework, because the first thing you said to me, McTwist, was the religious education. Where is my religious education as far as the systems of the world? If you waiting on a seminary or something to tell you the truth, they know the truth. They know every bit of this, but they will not tell you. Go check out Paul Wallace's channel. He was an archdeacon in the Church of England for 33 years, was a teacher of pastors, and all the rest of that stuff. 33 years in church ministry, and he walked away from it because he learned the very things that I'm talking about right here. And he continues to teach them, and wrote about 4 or 5 books on the subject at this point. Paul Wallace, Wallis. It ain't no the Church of England. I didn't say the Church of England. The Anglican. Well, I'm sorry, I may have said it, but the Anglican Church in Australia. But guess what? The Church of England ain't no more lost than the Catholic Church and all the 45,000 different sects of Christianity, because they're still leaning into Yahweh worship. They remixed Yahweh. He became Jehovah. And it's the same thing. That is not the Elohim that Yeshua was telling people to worship. He was telling the Jews that they was worshiping the wrong Elohim. That part. It is true, McTwist, and I'm so sorry. You can say, nah, it's not true all you want. You will find out if you trace back through the pantheons that the one they call Jehovah in the New Testament is the one they call Yahweh in the Old Testament. And it's the same one, if you trace it all the way back, it's the same one that the Anunnaki referred to as Enlil. I've learned. I'm not going to continue arguing with you because I don't have to tell where did I learn my theology from over 20 years. Actually, truthfully, I started with the Bible in a very strict Christian household at the age of 2. So literally, I have 55 years of theology under my belt and about a decade and a half of actual truth. That part. But what I'm not going to do is waste any more folks' time arguing here with you because I didn't come here to argue. The group that I came here to meet with, we came to have a pleasant conversation. If you want to hear what we got to say, cool. If not, go do your homework. I don't know what to tell you because I know for sure what I'm talking about, and it's not for debate. It's for, in my mind anyway. Now, you can debate all you want, create your own channel, and you can put whatever you want out there. You can be as much of a Christian apologist as you choose, but we ain't doing that here, okay? Just so you're aware. Ah, Lord, how's everybody else doing? Hey, light bulb guys, how you doing? Mm-mm-mm. That's Mert, right? I can't remember. I think you said, isn't that aren't you Mert? Oh, CKI. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm sorry. I get everybody's mixed up. I'm glad to have y'all in here. I got to catch up in the group too, because I'm trying to tell you, I have been so zonked the past few days. Oh my goodness, I just been kind of. Well, thank you, Joyce. I appreciate it, because Lord knows I needed to take a few extra minutes and do something. Because I was talking to Miss Cece, and I thought I got to put some eyebrows on or something so I don't look crazy. Yeah. And I have started the process for getting my profile right. Hopefully, I got to look around in the back office. I don't know. I don't even know how the back office for real works in YouTube, and I ain't even remotely got into the back office in TikTok yet. But I did reactivate my account, so I will be modern dot mystic dot messages on um, TikTok for those who have TikTok and want to roam over there. We're going to be changing up the schedule a little bit. I think I'm going to try to do 2 days live on each of these channels and then 3 days over on TikTok. Hey, Lee Davis. Honestly, hey, Natalie Rose, welcome, welcome. I didn't have no choice, Lee, because, like I said, I've just been kind of zapped lately as far as these energies. I guess it's the energies. I don't know. One thing I will say though, y'all, I have not successfully gotten all the way down into the fast though, but I have gotten to a point where like I said, I'm still throwing quite a bit of inflammation. My fasting blood sugars are down under 120, so it is happening. It's going to take a minute for me to get into ketosis for real, just because I'm so insulin resistant. Um, but I've got like one and a half watermelon left and a container of cottage cheese and a can of pineapple in water, not in heavy syrup, in water. So once I'm done with those, then I'm gonna ride it out because there are 101 days. Oh, I just thought, what was that? Phineas and Ferb. There's 100 and what was it? 101 days of summer vacation in the Phineas and Ferb theme song. There's 101 days left in this year. So I'm gonna just kind of segue the fast into basically do an overlapping 100-day challenge, but kicking it off with the fast. So, hey, Miss CC, welcome, welcome. And I also, you were talking about self care, Lee. I thought about it. One thing I did manage to get done that I had not have been told slack, but I had some stuff left to make my black soap. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna actually start using that more often. I have been using it like once a week or twice a week to do the scrub with, but I'm gonna start using it on a daily basis just so I have some experience to see if it's too harsh to use on a daily basis on the face the way I've been doing it, because they can be used. The one that I use is like an all over scrub, but I added some herbs to it to see how it was going to react using it as a face treatment. So it looks like it might be brightening stuff up a little bit. We're gonna see. Well, it's not designed to brighten anything, but you know. Oh, you missed the fun, CC. Earlier, we had a couple of folks that was gonna come in here with the Jesus loves you stuff. It's all love though, and they don't understand. I really am. Well, again, the ones that don't really, really want to hear it, that's not who I'm here for. I'm here for those who are kind of on the edge. They kind of sort of know something ain't right and kind of sort of want to figure out a direction in which to go. And it's so funny because that same person that came in there with a Jesus loves you want to claim the Church of England is lost. I'm like, well, hell, the Church of England ain't no different than the rest of them. Really ain't. You've been working up the fast and you get lightheaded. That's not, yeah. Honestly, and that's the thing. It's like most of my eating is, well, let me stop. I had said before most of my eating was emotional because I've been doing like one meal a day or eating within a small window, and that wasn't an issue. But lately, I've been actually feeling hungry, and I think it's something to do with the energies because I haven't felt hunger like this in a long time. But I'm hunger or no hunger, I gotta ride out because you said you knew it was going. Oh yeah, 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 I knew it. They gonna come. Well, they ain't over with. Some more will be back. But yeah, I already know that with the things that we're manifesting in, we're calling in, got to get the body right. And honestly, a lot of the spiritual upgrades that I've asked for require a level of cleansing that, I mean, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm not doing any of those things, but still, there's a level of spiritual cleansing of the body that must be done. And like Yeshua said, he when he addressed the Essenes, he said flat out, this kind can only go through prayer and fasting. That there were certain things, if you really wanted the health improvements and the spiritual upgrades and the this and that, he laid it out for them, the things that they had to do, and it required in their case a minimum of a 7 day fast. Period. In the name of Yeshua, may peace rest upon all souls in this place. Ashe. And so it is. That makes me, let's see. I wanted to look, hold on. I didn't even prepare this. Normally, if I go and jump in scriptures, I'll look ahead of time, but we were in Amos and Obadiah the other day, and it just really made me kind of want to look at some other stuff. Hold on. That was Joshua, Judges. Madman Destiny. Card reading? No, that'll be tomorrow morning on the channel. I had pulled some cards just for the group earlier, just a few, just to take us in. I was just interested in the energies that were kind of leading into into the message today, and came up with my aunt Horus, Raphael, Raziel, and Metatron. But I'm not really doing a card reading on this channel. But I will be on Anunnaki Oracle Priestess tomorrow morning. Okay, at 11 a.m. Eastern. I was trying to see. Let me see. Lucia. Yeah. Honestly, Paul, that's why I stopped doing the banana thing. The watermelon was as far as I could go, and truthfully, I got it here. It's not even a real good one, but I hate wasting food, so I'm gonna go ahead on and finish them. Um, and then yeah, I'll be done. But I had to leave the bananas alone and all those other goodies. I like bananas, but yeah, few of them spike the blood sugar up nice and high. Oh, that's awesome, Natalie Rose. I'm glad that that helped. Okay, so now I know I'm not crazy then, because like you said, you had been fasting, but you were hungry because of the energies too. So I know, okay, then I know I'm not entirely off base in that. Because when I tell you, I normally don't even really feel hunger, like real bad hunger anymore. Even when I'm doing OMAD, I don't feel hunger, but yeah, I'm feeling it now. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, Natalie. But that's wonderful that he actually wanted to get up and go out after you did the Reiki. That's beautiful. Keep going. You know what? Now this is interesting. Thank you, Michael Stevens. I was looking for something because yeah, exactly. Like hunger like I haven't felt in years. Um but it's interesting to me. I was looking to see where we were supposed to read, and for some reason, I think it's in Ezra. I keep thinking Micah. I went through Micah. I'm flipping through, and I got to Nahum. And the first thing that I noticed here, now the Christians are quick to tell you about how divination is wrong, but the very beginning of the book of Nahum says, an oracle concerning Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum of Elkosh. Don't an oracle use divination? Oh, that part. Mm. In Habakkuk, it starts out with the oracle that Habakkuk the prophet saw. I just ain't in the mood to read. Some of these things are so depressing, especially like after we read that mess we read in First and Second Kings last week. I'm like, it's amazing to me that when you're under the spell of religion, you can't really see. Hey, Kenny Rojas, welcome in. Most of them were, but that's part of the undoing of this religion. They were so misogynistic that they blinded all the oracles of Delphi and sent them into the desert and stuff. So yeah, they started using male oracles after that. But for a good little stretch of history, yes, all the oracles were female until the misogynistic dudes came along and decided that they didn't want to listen to females no more. Yeah, I think if I know if I can just get like into ketosis, I'll be all right. It's just that I'm so insulin resistant. It's taking me longer and longer to get into it. It'll probably take me a good 5 or 6 days to get into it now. Um, but I'll get in there. I don't have a choice. Like I said, we got 101 days left in this year. And I know that for the things that I want to do, for the things that I'm wanting to call in and manifest, I got to get down, like as they say, down to fighting weight. And the best way to start that, because for me, it's a complete overhaul. I can't go back to eating like I was. I'm literally changing up everything. But leading into that, the best thing for me to do to not only allow for the downloads and upgrades that I want spiritually, but also for a physical reset. For me, that long term fast is the best way for me to go because I'm playing right on a knife edge of diabetes and I don't want it. It's got to go. Yeah. But I'm so sugar addicted, it's been hard for me to stick to that. So that's why I said if I just do the long term fast, on the other side of it, if I've made that level of progress and actually been without it for that long, then it may not be easy because look, I stopped smoking over a year ago and I still every now and then get a, you know, in my head. So it's something I'm gonna have to deal with, but it'll be easier if I lead in from fasting. Because after I come off the fast, I intend to do like a 30-day raw vegan deal with just fruit, like fruits, salads, and smoothies, juices, or whatever. Not so much smoothies, mostly green juices to keep the sugar content low. But yeah. I did get some sugar. That's one of the things that I forgot. I did get in here to help me through the fast. I'm gonna go ahead. I do make my own sea moss gel, but sea moss gel is so gross. So I got a big thing of unsweetened applesauce and a thing of honey, so that when I do the sea moss gel, I can mix it in the applesauce with a little bit of honey, and that still it won't spike my sugar super high because it's only I'm literally using the sea moss like medicine to take a couple of spoonfuls of that each day to make sure that I'm getting enough nutrients because I've been truthfully malnourishing myself, even though I'm eating food because of the way I've been eating lately. I know that I'm not, I'm somewhat malnourished. So, but yeah, I forgot about that. I did get some honey and some unsweetened applesauce. And I did make sure it was raw honey. Yeah, it was like the raw, um, unfiltered. I'm not sure if it's local source, but I'm not using it to boost my immune system per se. I think it might be local. I think it's local to the southeast, though. It's not local to Atlanta. But yeah. But yeah, Paul, that's kind of sort of even when I get back on meat, like I said, on the other side of all of that, that's how I plan to ride out the rest of the year. High protein, of course. I gotta do some vegetables just because I be craving them, but I'm gonna try to do meat and vegetables and very little, if any, carbs. Truthfully, maybe a little bit of sweet potato or something if I'm just really craving something sweet, but that's about as far as I'm gonna be able to go. I gotta leave the noodles and pasta and rice and all that stuff alone. Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot of allergies though, Paul. It's primarily well, my eyes bother me sometimes, but I honestly think that's an issue with the air filters, the vents in the house. He's never had the vents like cleaned and vacuumed in here, and I think it's more to do with that. I sometimes I get spring stuff when the pollen is really really bad, but I don't suffer with it nearly as bad as a lot of people. But my eyes and stuff will bother me. Um, I mean, in concept, I've looked at keto, Natalie, but that's one of the things I said once I finish the fast, I want to do because when you fast that long, you are supposed to like go into juicing or whatever for at least like whatever, if you do a long-term fast, then you're supposed to refeed on juices and lighter things for like at least half the time that you fast. So for example, once I successfully do the 40-day fast for at least 20 days, I would be doing like juices and light fruits. So that's why I said I would do the fast and then do a month of fruit juices, salads, raw vegan kind of stuff. And then I would do like keto, pescatarian, somewhere in there as far as the refeed. But yeah, because I honestly don't think I can just do straight carnivore. Just even the thought of, because I've weaned off of so much meat over the years, the thought of doing a carnivore diet makes me sick to my stomach. So I probably will be doing like a keto pescatarian type deal. I've been thinking about putting mm, yeah, I hear you, Paul. I can't stand beef broth. I'll try. I'm gonna have to learn to like it, I guess, because I don't like the taste of it at all. It's gross. I've tried several brands, and I don't like it. I just don't. Chicken broth is a little better, but not much. Eat lean meat then. You don't have to eat a lot of fat, and make sure that you're getting fat from like avocado and banana and stuff like that. Get it from vegetables instead of animal fat if you're concerned about the fat. But, you know, I don't know what, I mean, unless you have like a high cholesterol issue, which after the end of a fast, you probably won't anyway. That'll probably resolve itself. But fat doesn't you actually need a certain amount of fat in order to mobilize visceral fat. You must consume a certain amount of fat. They've literally misled us with that. Put everything on low fat, and most of the stuff that they label as low fat is low fat, and then they pump sugar and stuff back into it. But you do need healthy fats. If I do go back on any kind of beef, it will be absolutely. I'll go ahead and spend a little more, but it'll have to be grass fed organic beef. Yeah, my days are walking up at Walmart and buying beef, just buying any old kind of beef. And it's not the beef itself. People don't understand that there's really nothing wrong with beef overall. It's what they feed commercially raised cows with. It take a year or more to get a cow big enough to go to market. And even the ones that claim that they're not getting any antibiotics and stuff, that's not entirely true. It may not be directly given to them, but it's in the feed, the chemicals, all of the GMO nonsense that they eat. Hey, Miss Valerie, how are you doing? So just go real slow with that. By the time I'm actually back to considering meat again, I'll probably buy it from, one of the co-ops that are doing the package stuff. Raw red onions. Uh, maybe. I mean, I get it. Yeah. If I eat raw red onions, I ain't even got to eat a whole lot of them. Now, this is so weird. And I'm weird. It's not that I dislike the taste of them, because, I mean, but if when I eat raw red onions, I can smell them. Even if I'm just eating them like on a hamburger or a sub or something, where other onions don't come through my skin. And I've never heard anybody else say that they could smell it. But when I eat them, I can smell it coming through my skin. And I'm like, You say you like them in pico de gallo? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all vegetables and stuff have to be carefully washed and all of that. But the difference is a vegetable typically, unless it's a root vegetable, a vegetable is going to go from seed to harvest in a couple of months, whereas a cow is going to continue to eat those pesticide filled grasses and GMO grains and stuff an antibiotic laced feed for a whole year, and it's concentrated in that meat. That's the difference. That's why I say it's not that there's anything wrong with beef per se, but you have to consider the fact that after that animal has been eating that stuff for a year, and then he's basically concentrating it in the flesh. I don't know how I don't know how much a cow actually eats per day, but let's say a cow eats 30 pounds of grain a day, which wouldn't be unreasonable for a 1,000 pound animal. But if they eat 30 pounds of feed or grass per day, every day, for a year and a half, however long it takes them to get to market, it's that stuff is accumulating in the cells. And then you go and basically that's the reason people complain so about the how much farmland it takes to bring get a dairy cow on the plate. I mean, not a dairy cow, to get a beef cow on the plate versus that same amount of land could be growing vegetation that could feed hundreds of people. Oh, awesome, Brittany. Welcome back in. Yeah. Now, somewhere, I can't remember who it was that was talking about garlic and onion, because in certain places in concentrations, they were talking about how, like, garlic and onion can be used for medicinal purposes, but truthfully, with the way we overuse them, that they're genuine, like onion especially, is actually toxic. Now, we're going to use it. I get it, because I'm going to use it too. But if you talk to the folks that do all that stuff about the food and stuff, that's one of the reasons when we cut it, it makes our eyes burn so bad. It's natural that whatever that substance is that it starts leaching out when you cut an onion that makes our eyes burn. That's a toxin that the onion secretes to try to keep predators or keep things that want to consume it from consuming it. Oh, child, the government ain't gonna stop doing none of that till we actually have the official landing when they come in and make them stop. No, no, I ain't, and I'm not talking about anybody coming through the garlic or onions. That's why I was saying, Brittany, me personally, I've never had anybody tell me that they could smell red onion on me either, but I can smell it. When I eat a hamburger with red onion on it, or eat a sub or anything else with red onion on it, for hours later, it's like I can wash my hands, brush my teeth, do all of that stuff, and I can still smell it. And ugh. You smell it coming through your skin too. Yeah. Now I actually like clove tea. It does make my mouth numb, but I do like it. I need to get back on it though, because clove is good for reducing inflammation for sure. Yeah, I like this conversation. I was sitting, I don't know why I flipped through the scriptures and then I got to thinking about it. I don't want to dig into Yahweh today. That was depressing the other day, and we got enough heaviness going on right now. Right? And again, I don't eat, it don't even have to be a lot for me. I can eat other stuff. Like one of my favorite dishes is like Mongolian chicken or Mongolian triple, which is genuinely ain't nothing but meat and onions. It's the sweet onions and the green onions and something else. It's like nothing but chopped up onions in it. And I don't smell that, but I can eat one sandwich with a decent amount of red onions on it, and I'm gonna smell it in my skin. Oh, I don't doubt I like sweet onions too. I don't doubt that I have a candida imbalance because especially as sugar addicted as I am, I know good and full well I gotta keep. I don't necessarily feel it, like I said. I'm not. I don't have scaly patches and an inordinate amount of itching or well, I shouldn't be saying that too loud. When I started in on this fast, like really get down in it, as all this stuff starts unpacking, I could start having those symptoms, but I haven't been having them so far. But I do know, as sugar addicted as I am, there's a high. I would be shocked if I didn't have a candida imbalance. Put it that way. Most people do if they've been eating sugar. You said you did a candida and parasite fast. When the candida died off, they released alcohol gas in your body. You were so drunk you thought you pour. Wow. Thank you for that heads up. So I know if that happens, to just lay on down and sleep it off. That I don't have to. That that's what it is. Because I would not have even thought about that. But yeah, honestly, that's one of the reasons. And I, you had it bad. You lost about 80 pounds. Okay, cool. One of the things I do plan to do, and I can't, I got to get back on it and get into the routine of it. But throughout the fast, I will continue to do the enemas. I'm gonna do like Yeshua said, like the first 7 days. But even then, once I go throughout at least twice a week, I'll still do them. I won't do them every day for the whole time, but even after the first 7 days, I'll still continue to do them twice a week. You got off of it by doing fasting and caveman, yeah. And honestly, I thought about that too. Once I actually make it through this first part, if I, and again, I'm not saying I'm gonna do caveman forever, but I may do it for a little while if I can. I just have to wrap my head around. I used to be a heavy meat eater, so it ain't like I can't go back to it. Um, yeah, but if it would help to like permanently get over that hump, because once the actual massive candida die off happens, I won't even crave sugar like that anymore. Oh wow. Yeah. I'm wondering if that starts happening, maybe a massive enema or even going and having a colonic done might help. Who knows? How long did that last for you, Brittany, when you went through the die off stage and you started feeling drunk and slurring your words and all that? How long did that last? Pineapple juice? Okay, cool. That's good to know. Yeah, that makes sense though, because of the bromelain in it. Which that's cool because truthfully, when I come off the fast, I was gonna make a batch of tapache, which I still will, but I can juice the pineapple itself and just use the core and the skins to make the tapache. You use turpentine, took laxatives later that day. You took turpentine without that effect. It had to be the laxatives. Okay. That's what I got my turpentine in there too. I didn't even start that. I put it on, I bought it a while back and stuck it up on the shelf in the downstairs bathroom closet. I got a little storage hutch in there. I mean, the little storage closet. I got all my little stuff in there. And when I got ready for the fast, I pulled all of my powders and supplements and kind of lined everything up in a in my little nutrient box. But I had forgotten about the turpentine. But I'll definitely start on that. Oh, and okay. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that was going to be like an all day affair. But like you said, you went ahead and got it out of you, and then it stopped. So yeah, if I start feeling those symptoms, I would just run in, and like you said, take some turpentine, then go in and do an enema or laxatives, whichever, and then be done with it. Good to know. See, that's why I like having somebody to talk about this stuff with, because I would never have even thought about that. And yeah, I don't want to be stuck in here drunk and crazy and this candida die off. You say you wouldn't do the laxative? Yeah. Like I said, I probably would just do the enema, then take the turpentine and follow it up with an enema. Or if I even if I can't do that, like the baking soda route, because either way, a salt flush or a baking soda flush in a couple of hours, it'll still run through you and get it out of you. Okay. Yeah, y'all gonna help get me right. Like I said, if I keep having somebody to talk to and be accountable to day by day, y'all gonna help me stay focused and get myself together. Cause I really do. I got to get myself together for real. You said you look like alien. Like, yeah, it can be after a while. Cause only one time have I kept it up long enough to actually start seeing some of that mucoid plaque come out. But yeah, it is kind of like, oh my God, what is that? And or start when or oh, have you ever done a gallbladder flush and start seeing all the gallstones, the little gallstones that hadn't caused the issue yet coming out? Yeah, that too. I gross, but yeah, Epsom salt is pretty. Sometimes I'll mix Epsom salt with the baking soda and still do that because they what they call that the poor man's detox. But it tastes gross, but it works fast. It's super effective. Yeah, as long as you get some relief. Like I say, I don't want to just. It's been so long since I've been actually drunk. So I just want if start noticing those kind of symptoms, I would do something to head it off to not have that to deal with. Cause yeah, the salt cleans you out. Yeah. Right? Back in the day, Big Mama would just give everybody castor oil and that'll be the end of it. True. While you playing, I do have castor oil in there too. I would have met why? Honestly, by the time if they get to a point where they're basically just eating vegetables and stuff, after a while, if they do their enemas and stuff, after a while it should smell relatively mild, you would think. Because I know once I've like tapered down and stopped eating the junk, stopped eating meat and all of that stuff, my stool doesn't really smell that bad. Well, I mean, it's still, I'm not saying it's flowery because it still is what it is, but you know what I'm saying as far as what it is when you're like heavily eating meat and sugar and stuff versus when you are on a primarily vegetable diet. Massive difference. Oh, yeah, it does work for sure. It works. Dr. Hulda Clark. Yes, indeedy. Oh, you can't. I'm sitting here wanting to just grin like a Cheshire cat to even be aligned with people who even know who that is and know the protocols and all that. Y'all, you don't even understand what a gift that is for me. Because I'm trying to tell you, I was around people that didn't know nothing about none of that, didn't want to know nothing about none of that. So I look at me like I done grown, like I'm literally talking out the side of my neck when I start mentioning any of that. And if I even remotely talk about getting ready to go on a fast, they lose their minds. I literally could not fast for 2 days around the people, like my extended family and stuff, without them tripping. You said we're all feeling it because it's time to get right. Exactly, exactly. And I know, honestly, um, hey, bro, 100, welcome in, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. You said doing the caveman diet. I'm not entirely sure yet, Brittany. I'm gonna have to see where spirit leads me on the other side of this fast. My main focus is just to get through that, and then the 30-day refeed will be raw vegan primarily. Yeah, I think it will be anyway. And then after that, it'll either be keto pescatarian or I might go straight caveman, but probably somewhere along the lines of keto because I just, like I say, the idea of just eating meat only, that don't even appeal to me. I don't know how people can do that. Like, what did you have for breakfast? Steak. What did you have for lunch? Steak. What did you have for that? No. I, Oh, that's what you meant by saying a Buddhist stuff stink. Okay, I didn't think. I thought you was talking about that it was especially stinky or something. I was like, no, I wouldn't think so. If they're eating good, it shouldn't be. But then, like I said, not all like, but it ain't even got nothing to do with their religion. It's about what they eating. A vegan's stool smells considerably milder than a meat eater's. But yeah, I could probably do half and half. You know, like half vegetables, half whatever. My biggest thing is getting off the sugar, getting off the pasta and grains and stuff. And when I do go back to eating those, it'll be very limited, probably rice or rice noodles. I do love noodles, but I also know that however the finances come about to allow me to travel and stuff, once I'm actually out of the country, I probably will be able to enjoy some of those things again because they won't be so laced with the chemicals and stuff and they're not made with the GMO grains that we have here. For example, if I go to Japan and I'm eating noodles over there, those noodles aren't made with the same kind of crap that we got. They're just not. So, yeah. But either way, I'm gonna enjoy that regardless. So I'll do without on this end so I can enjoy a little bit more on the other side. Cause yeah, but that's why I said I will continue on because I've got so far to go. 40 days by itself is a good start, but it's not gonna take me where I need to go. I'm gonna have to ride this out on the full 100. And truthfully, my, it's gonna be a everyday till it's done thing for real. But I'm talking about 100-day challenge as far as resetting my life, getting well in 100 days. I would hope to lose at least 90 to 110 pounds if I stay focused on this. I should truthfully. If I can get my resting metabolic rate consistent again, I should lose somewhere around 130 to 40, but we'll see. Got to do meditation. Oh yeah, I wish we weren't too, but I mean, it is what it is. So they've been doing that for a hot minute. And you said trying to eat like our grandparents did, truthfully. And that's what people don't understand. They ate well, but even still, if we try to eat like our grandparents did, Paul, the problem is if we eat the things our grandparents ate, they didn't have GMO stuff to deal with. That is truthfully the way they've laced everything with sugar, the hydrogenated oils and stuff, and the GMO grains are the main reason. That's the main part. Plus all of the preservatives and the this and that, all the chemical names of stuff we can't produce. None of that stuff was in our grandparents and our great grandparents' food. They just weren't. They hadn't started putting all them chemicals in food yet. And a lot of us, there's a reason why. That plus that whole supersize me philosophy that's happened in the US to get people to buy more, that ultra consumerism. But like 70% of the people in the United States are overweight. And of those 70%, probably 40 to 60% of those are considered obese. That's very telling. That's not everybody just being lazy and greedy. That's not gluttony, that's poisoning. That is evidence of systemic poisoning. The fact that most of our population is overweight. that's a problem. What's Zepbound? Is that some kind of prescription thing? I hope I don't hit the wall too soon because I really, really, I got a number in mind that I'd like to hit, but yeah, my roommate was talking today about how people, even people on his job, say admit that if they tried to eat like he eats, they probably weigh 400, 500 pounds. Oh, you back with the foolishness, Julie? All right. Well, I'm glad he loved you. He loved me. He loved everybody in here. Enough said. We're done with that. Um, but yeah, and we were talking about it. He quite literally eats 3 to 4 times the amount of food that I eat, and he weighs 150 pounds. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't even eating healthy. He eats pizza like 3, 4 times a week. But that's his metabolism and his body. I can't eat that way. We already know that, Julie. Go somewhere else with that, okay? I'm not going to argue with you anymore. You ain't even, we're going to just ignore her. How about that? Because she ain't got nothing better to say and nothing else to add to the conversation. So when she comes back in, if she still come in talking that Anton, we're just going to ignore her. People get me, ain't got no life, no common sense, no manners, no nothing. You said your husband was like that. Your ex, I say your ex was like that. Yeah, skinny as a rail, eat anything he want, all the sugar he want, all the pasta he want, all the cheese he want. I'm like, damn. I mean, literally, if we go, even if we do fast food or anything else, he will order 2 entrees. Yeah, we used to go to Slutty Vegan and 2 burgers, 2 fries, and get the drink, all the rest of that. I get tired just watching him eat. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? If I think about that much food, I'm gonna gain 3 pounds. But like I said, I have to operate around my circumstances, and like I said, he have to operate around his. I got a son that's rail thin like that, and just like I struggle to lose weight, he struggles to keep weight on, and he's always been that way. He literally, when he got ready to go in the military, it took him like 3 months. He was reporting in to his recruiter and stuff because he had to make weight, and he literally went on a campaign. I was making him pancakes and oatmeal and all kinds of stuff to try to get weight on him so that he could make weight to join the Air Force. And he have to struggle every now and then whenever they have to go back in and do. He got to make sure that he starts on it early enough to make sure he gets his weight up so that he can stay in. The biggest thing that I look forward to though is getting enough inflammation down so that my knees stop hurting to the point that I can start like walking. Because I mean, yeah, I can get on the yoga ball and I can do this, I can do that, blah, blah, blah. But I know until I really get out there and start getting mobile or get to where I can get up and like dance and really move, that that will help me reset and be able to get the weight off a lot more. Berberine, yeah. I do have some berberine. Biggest, I got a whole bunch of supplements in there. I just don't take them regularly, but I'm gonna be swallowing a whole lot of pills over the next month or two. So I'm ready. Hey, Iron Butterfly, what's up? Good to have you in here this evening. Hey, Nabrisha, how are you? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome to you and Iron Butterfly. We just back here kicking it. We ain't really talking about a whole lot of, a lot of. Good. That's what's up. How the new moon energy's treating you. We were earlier. We were talking. Everybody's feeling it. Oh my goodness. Everybody's feeling it. You took berberine for your blood sugar. Honestly, right now it seems to be coming down naturally. Of course, you can ask a question. I'll try to answer it. You want to skip around the block, Natalie Rose? Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. I got this TV in here. I mean, I use it for the sound and stuff, but I mean, I could clear the living room space out. I'm really gonna try to teach myself some of the dances and stuff. I will not be videoing that, just so y'all know. Oh, it's a tarot question, Nabrisha? Okay. I'm not pulling tarot tonight. I mean, if it's a general question about tarot, I can answer it. If it's a question you want me to look to the cards to get an answer for you, I'll be on Anunnaki Oracle Priestess. That's my other channel. I'll be there tomorrow at 11 a.m. Okay. And I'll be more than happy to look into it for you then if you're able to join us in the morning. I'm just not pulling tarot here tonight. Um, Now, I'm not sure about individually cleaning the Ida and Pingala or Ida Pingala. I'm not sure how you pronounce those, Antoine. But I sent an you say I'll be so good I'll be sharing my dancing. I doubt that. Even when I was healthier and slimmer, I was not good at dancing. Yeah, I was always behind on the modern dances. I'm one of them. What is that? Was it Fat Joe say they don't dance no more? All they do is this. Yeah, I can hit the beat, but I ain't gonna be doing a whole lot of dancing. Um, if anybody's interested, I had shared with Miss Cece. There's a playlist from Kelly Marie Kerr that I share with her about raising the holy chrism or the Christ oil. And she on her channel she talks about that at length. She did a whole series about it a few years ago, and she's kind of moved on to some other stuff now, but she made a master playlist of a bunch of different videos. And if I'm gonna remember, I got to get busy because I was falling behind. I haven't read the stuff y'all posted either, but I will post it to the WhatsApp chat if anybody's interested in that. Because basically, she discusses what the Holy Chrism is and how to go about doing it. But she also has like a series of little yoga exercises and yogic poses and things that you can do on for like the 2 days before your chrism rises and during that time and in the 2 days afterwards. So it's basically like a 5 day span as you go through the resurrection, so to speak, of raising the chrism. You said right now you do chairs. What does that mean, Iron Butterfly? How do you do chairs? What, like chair dancing, you mean? Oh, Iron Butterfly, your chair dancing. Honestly, same. That's kind of what I do, except because of my weight, I didn't want to be stressing the chair so much, so I got yoga balls, and I sit sit on the yoga ball, and that way I can do my thing, and like I said, do all the little moves and all that without putting so much on my. I can still kind of sort of give my knees a little bit of a workout because you can get up, you can move, and all that, but not. It's not as much as if I were standing. I can stay moving a lot longer by doing it on the yoga ball. than I would if I was just standing in here trying to dance like I'm in the club. My club days ended about a decade and a half ago. So that's what they call the Christic oil, the Christ oil. Like we, that's one of the things that they feel like when they talk about climbing Jacob's ladder in the scriptures and the death and resurrection, going to Calgary and all of that stuff. That it's there's a thing that happens in our bodies, and you can measure it by it's individual to a person's sun sign. When the when the moon is in your sun sign during the month, like for example, I got a calendar, I think it's called Moonly or the Moon or something, so I can look on there and see when the sun is. I'm a Cancer, so I'm gonna look and see what 2 days during the month the sun is going to be, the moon is going to be in Cancer. The 2 days before that and the 2 days after that, plus that time period that the sun is in Cancer, that's the time that my holy, the Christ oil will be traveling up. It literally come. It's like just like Kundalini, the Ida and Pingala are where the Kundalini energy flows up and down the spine, but that oil actually rises up in through the channel of your spine, and it comes up and through and actually travels, well, depending on whether you actually raise it all the way by having making sure your chakras are clear and all of that, but it will raise up through to the pineal gland. And I forgot what that channel is called, but it's a whole explanation of it on there. And then it actually, I think it spends 2 days in the region around the throat, and then it travels up and then it comes back down. But like I said, I'll share the playlist so anybody's interested in it can look more into that. But yeah, the chair dancing actually does work, Iron Butterfly, if you do it and stay on it. Um, Not to be TMI, but before, the first time I needed to lose weight, I've got a diastasis recti, that where or the muscle separate or whatever. I had twins, so they separated and didn't ever close back properly, and I had a hernia that started out way up here. By the time I finished doing like the chair dancing, between that, the intermittent fasting, and all of that, I could still feel it, but it was down near my navel. But more importantly, I had a ridge of fat because I got a dump truck back here, but I had a ridge across my back butt, whatever, they put like a kind of a square edge on the top. You've seen big butt women that have that square thing at the top of their butt. And a few months of just doing what I do, turning on the Afro beats and putting in like 30 to 45 minutes a day on the yoga ball, it got rid of that. I mean, it still was big, but it wasn't square anymore. You know what I mean? Um, You say you should fast around your birthday. Maybe. I mean, honestly, if your solar return is important for you, so fasting in up like leading up to your solar return and during that time period can be beneficial to you. But for sure, like, and they do encourage like eating super light and or fasting while you're trying to raise this Christ oil, because there are certain things. That's why I said if you're actually raising it, everybody doesn't raise it every month. It's available to us to raise every month, but there are certain things, if we're eating certain things and ingesting certain things, and like I said, not getting enough rest and things like that, then it basically can get stuck and then it'll just go back down. But if you want to bring it all the way up, she talks about how to do that. Yeah. Oh, for sure, Iron Butterfly. Now, again, not telling anybody that they got to stay vegan 100% of the time, but we're discussing things that are about reaching a point of enlightenment, like opening the chakras, opening the pineal gland, clearing the third eye, getting connected with source. And for those type things, then absolutely the more vegetables, you want to be eating living foods. Like I said, dead foods, overly cooked foods weigh us down. They are super dense. So, yeah. For example, I found it super interesting. I was watching an interview one time with Tyler Henry, the Hollywood medium guy, and he is 100% vegan, but he was like he needed to do that to keep his energy channels clear and pure. He takes his gift really seriously, but he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, and he's 100% vegan. Yeah, you said your birthday is in December 10th. In December, no holiday goodies. Well, eat healthier holiday goodies. That's all. I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If you are actually doing those exercises and doing the diet and everything to raise the Christ oil, which honestly, now while y'all talking and all of them with the Jesus loves you stuff and all of that, we got enough time. Each and every one of us could do it. Go through and read or listen to. I'll send that too for anybody that's interested. I still haven't found that Christhood meditation program, but if you would go through and like the not the Christ letters, not Christ returns, but there's another set of, I think it's called the Way of the Heart and the Way of something else, but they are the Jeshua letters. If you would go through something like that and starting like put make a plan for yourself, and we might go through it in December as a group if you're interested in that. And then around the solstice, sometime between solstice and Christmas morning, instead of the traditional holiday practices that Christianity puts out there for you, go outside in nature, barefoot if you can. Now, if it's 10 feet of snow, no. But if you're in a place where you can go outside and get in nature and commune with Yeshua and accept your Christed beingness, either on the solstice morning or on Christmas morning, that's worth giving up some holiday treats for, in my opinion. And watch how, more importantly, once you do that, pay attention to the miraculous stuff that happens to you and around you in the next few months after that. I did it back in 2020, and that was when I was having all the birds visiting me and people walking up and handing me sand dollars, and I'm picking up telepathically on people's stuff, and yeah, all of that good stuff. It was like crazy synchronicities happened after I did that. And honestly, even though I did it, I'm more than happy to kind of like say those that are interested. I'm gonna do a little homework and get us a little program coming up with it. I'll dig into some of this other stuff. We'll make some kind of a plan or some kind of a little program we'll work through in December so that we can do that. I may even start like after Thanksgiving, so you'll have like 5 or 6 weeks to ramp up to it. But yeah, solstice is gonna be huge this year, especially for those of us that are manifesting stuff. So for sure. Now, the sun gazing, Paul Snowcloud, I definitely encourage any and everybody to look into that and do as spirit leads them. But I won't be leading nobody in group sun gazing because I can't afford the legal liability of it. You know what I mean? I don't believe anybody in this particular group would, but I'm sitting here on a live stream, and if I told people that I go out and do sun gazing and some clown went and did it the wrong way and damaged their eyes, I could wind up working for them for the rest of my life. So I won't. I'll you know point them in the direction of the information and encourage them to go look at the information for educational purposes only and do as their heart and their spirit guides direct them. But I won't be leading no group sun gazing. Oh, thank you so much, Iron Butterfly. Purple is my color for sure. Yeah, it is my color. And even before it got to be like an it color, I've always been a purple girl, purple and hot pink, like really hot pink. more fuchsia than pink, which again brings you right into the purples. But yeah, oddly enough, pretty much everything. I got one lavender dress though, and I wear it very, very little because as much as I love purple, lavender, I mean, it kind of sort of my color, but not really. Hey, yeah. Okay, you said gazing into the sun for fun, then the sun begins to run, and it began to run. Out comes the sun, which was the one who began. No, I don't know about all of that. But I mean, it has to. Sun gazing does definitely have to be done a certain way. It can only be done within an hour after sunrise, up to an hour after sunrise, or an hour before sunset. It cannot just be done randomly at any time of the day because the UV rays are all wrong. You can do serious damage to your eyes if you do it at the wrong time. That's why I say I'll point people into the direction of the information and then they can do with it what they will. But we can do group fasting within reason and we can do meditations and all of that good stuff. We could talk about all of that, but I won't openly encourage anyone to do sun gazing. That's something that they have to do as a spirit led function. You said your cat got the sun bathing down, yeah. Ooh, cold plunge. I've done it a couple times. And good luck. Honestly, mm, if I actually had the means to set it up and do it consistently, I might would get used to it. Truthfully, for me, like the cold shower rinse was about as cold as I can stand to go. That was enough for me. Doing like the hot shower with the cold rinse and the cold, soaking the head at the end. Ooh, yeah. But I have done cold plunge like at the gym before, and it's a little difficult to stay in there, but it's so good for you. Cold showers are crazy, but it is very, very good for you, especially for that cognitive boost at the end. Like if you're doing like Wim Hof breathing and stuff, and you start doing the hot showers with that cold rinse at the end, you'll get used to it after a while. I mean, well, it's gonna always kind of suck and hurt, but the way you feel afterwards, it is kind of worth it. But you said a 6 minute cold plunge was too much, so you're nervous about it. Yeah, that's what I say. I don't do completely cold showers. I go on and do a regular shower, and then turn it to cold water at the end just to do the rinse and the head plunge in like a quick 1 or 2 minutes of cold at the end of a regular shower. I can't do the whole shower cold. No, I just can't. I'm so sorry. Well, I probably could if I had to, but I have no desire to do that. So I prefer baths anyway. So truthfully, I can do a hot soak, do the bath, da 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 da, and then get up, stand up, and just do the cold rinse at the end. That works fine for me. But truthfully, even without the cold plunge, if you really get into Wim Hof breathing, oh my goodness. Yeah. You did cryo freezing, but it thawing out hurts your joints. Ooh. Heart chakra music, open your blocks. Yeah. I listen to so much frequency music. Honestly, I don't even hardly listen to regular music no more. If I don't, whatever I don't hear in the short reels, it's been so long since I just like turned on Pandora or turned on the radio or any of that. Most of the time when I'm in YouTube or anywhere, I'm listening to some frequency or other, or like I said, I might be doing the temple music or Asian music, but some kind of meditation music always. And every now I love Tibetan the singing bowls and like the um, sound baths, or lately I've been into the what are those wind chimes? Yeah. Oh, I can't think of the name of them right now. But yeah, I really really like those. Mhm. You said is it good for the heart? I would imagine so. You know, it's gonna stimulate the heart for sure. The cold plunge and stuff. Even Wim Hof and the cold plunge are gonna stimulate pretty much everything. You've been trying to archive all the stuff you study and watch for entertainment or listen to music while you have a feeling with this internet idea it's gonna get hard to do anything practically. With what internet ID? Am I missing something that's happening in the public sector? I just keep, I mean, because it's YouTube, I keep everything in lists. Most of my lists here on the channel are public now, but I do have a couple of private lists. Or like, because some of the stuff, I got so much stuff backed up that I want to share with y'all, but I want to watch it first. So I keep a private list of that. Then I have my watch later list, which is currently stuff that I'm watching. And of course, if something is really, really good, then I'll just share it or save it to show topics or what have you. Why? Why would you be crying over that? You know how old Ozzy Osbourne was. He rode it till the wheels fall off. You should fell off. You should be celebrating his life. Why are you crying, I am butterfly? I'm confused. I mean, I know like his family and stuff, he's gonna be greatly missed and all of that, but Ozzy had a very ripe life and did a whole heck of a lot more than most people ever get to do. Everybody leaves here sooner or later. There's no real reason to be still mourning like that. Okay. I mean, do what you need to do, but I was just confused because yeah. Connect with him. I mean, if you can, try to connect with him in meditation and see. He'll probably let you know. Like you said, don't cry for me, Argentina. He'd have probably moved on. And okay, all the more reason. If you never really appreciated him in life, why would you go through all of that mourning him now? That I ain't trying to be funny or disrespectful. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but that sound a little bit like a little bit of jumping on the bandwagon, like these people are still jumping in live streams talking about RIP Charlie Kirk. They didn't know that man or support him a little bit when he was alive, but because it's a trending topic, they just gonna milk it and milk it and milk it and milk it. You say, you say he better not come to you in his makeup. Well, Ozzy is Ozzy. It wouldn't be him if he didn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Paul. Yeah, the cold stimulation will burn visceral fat. But again, guilt over what? Iron butterfly. Now listen. Okay, now I got to get on some auntie level. It's 8 billion people on this planet. Was he a blood relative of yours or something? I'm seriously asking. Was Ozzy Osbourne a blood relative of yours, Iron Butterfly? Yeah, well, Paul, it might be because it do sound like a little bit of idol worship here. Because my thing is, unless he was literally your immediate family, like showed up at the family reunion, you feeling guilty because you didn't send him a birthday card and he checked out before then, for you to be sitting around crying because you didn't appreciate him while in the younger years, and now all of a sudden, you now that he's gone, you feel guilty and you sitting up listening to his music and crying. Are you kidding me? How many musicians have died around the planet today? Probably a good two or three dozen of them. You didn't know their music either. Why would you not mourning them? Why are you suddenly mourning this man? You just want something to be sad about? Are you still mourning Michael Jackson too? You still mourning Prince? How about Elvis? Do you? And I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to. I mean, in a way, I'm kind of sort of being funny because I'm trying to help you see how ridiculous what you just said is. You were not a particular fan of his music, and that's okay. I know who he is too, and I know a couple songs he did, but I wasn't a metal fan, period. So I don't no disrespect to the man. I understand that he's a rock legend and all of that, but I couldn't tell you four Ozzy Osbourne songs unless I just happened to hear them and remember there was some classic and I was, oh, that was Ozzy Osbourne. So what would I look like coming talking about I'm feeling guilty and mourning him now? I'm sorry that he died, but guess what? Wasn't he 80 something years old? Like I said, he had a good full life. He rode it till the wheels fell off. That man did more drugs and alcohol than a little bit. The fact that he got to this age is a miracle. Celebrate his life. Don't sit around mourning his death, his passing. Because truthfully, if you understood, you say you realize nobody really thought of you as just a person dressed up as a gold. Good what? Wait a minute. General gathered in the master just like which? Yeah, he did a whole lot of stuff, biting bats heads off bats and stuff, and all of that. Okay, Ozzy's life was not destroyed by his peers and fans. That man been sick for a long time. If you couldn't tell, even though they didn't openly talk about it, every time I saw him, he looked like he was leaning a little bit further over. The man was old and sick. And he got an opportunity to go on stage and do some of the stuff he really wanted to do. He went out like a champ. Wasn't he on stage performing live like a week before he passed? They are brainwashing people, and honestly, I want everybody. Now, again, MIB don't come for me, but I need people to do some critical thinking. Put your thinking hats on. Literally, 100,000 people on this planet die every single day, at least. They didn't carry on like this over an assassination attempt over our president. Why are they still ranting and raving about Charlie Kirk? I'm not saying don't investigate. I'm not saying do what they're supposed to do. But I'm talking about people jumping up in the live stream and people crying and carrying on and doing all that. I want to know because the media is pushing it up that hard. I want to know what they're pushing his death out there for as a flag of what they're literally using that to hide something else. That is literally a case of watch the bouncing ball. They don't carry on about nobody else getting gunned down in the streets, right or wrong. I understand that when you're popular, you touch lives all over the world and all of that, that there is an interconnected nature, non-linear. You can be the observer, the dreamer, and the dream. I get all of that. But typically, those that we do not personally know, it's not really emotionally healthy to run around carrying grief for them like it's your long lost cousin or your mama or your sister or something. It's not even You know what I'm saying? That's not a normal thing for people to grieve for a stranger to the same depth they would for a close family member, and to continue prolong that grief for weeks and weeks and weeks. That's not healthy, because that means that you idolize that person too much. They don't know you at all. They family didn't know you at all. You wasn't invited to the wake, the funeral, or nothing else. And you're over here quite literally spiraling into deep layers of grief for someone who never knew you or acknowledged you. That doesn't strike you as a little imbalanced, whether they popular or not. That's too much idol worship. Hey, P Vader, how you doing? You having issues on this end? I'm sorry. I hope you. Oh, you can't seem to connect. Okay, you might have to close all the way out of YouTube and open it back up and come back in. Shadow work and meditation on it might help. Yeah, because it's got to be something else. It almost has to be something else, especially if you're saying you're feeling guilt over a 90-year-old man's quite anticipate. I mean, not anticipated, but what nobody super surprised. You know what I'm saying? So if you're mourning it that heavily and feeling guilt, I guarantee you there's something else underneath that. You might want to go, like she said, do some meditation and shadow work on that. Child, they ain't got no intention of exposing Israel. They're still in bed with Israel. Come on now. I ain't trying to be funny. Again, these are just my opinions, but the situation in Israel could have been stopped 20 years ago if they really wanted it to. Kind of like the war on drugs and the war on AIDS and the war on poverty and the war on everything they declare war on gets bigger. Hadn't you noticed? They don't have no intention of doing nothing with that, or they would have already did it. Yeah, Brittany, but that's what I'm saying. You said the lady at work said she felt like a brother had died and she ain't understand what was going on with her. She said she couldn't stop crying. Maybe they are doing some kind of hypnosis or whatever. That's why I tell people, look, y'all can say what you want to, but the smart folks is genuinely wanting to wake up or unplugging from mainstream television, period. Because they do a lot of subliminal programming and hypnotism and things like that. They push a lot of concepts into mass consciousness through mainstream television. They've been doing it. They never stopped. This ain't new. They've been doing it. Why do you think we have narcissism so prevalent? Why do you think gender confusion is so prevalent? Why do you think all of that stuff that we have going, the paranormal agenda is so prevalent? Those are literally mass consciousness agendas that have been spoon fed into humanity right through the television. Oh yeah, the Charlie Kirk thing is brainwashing. Like you said, they ain't idolizing because he was, even when he was alive, you either loved him or you hated him. He was split right down the middle, and a lot of folks hated him. So that's why I'm like, why are they still so up in arms about it now? You find it parasocial, but it's also kind of a human thing. Like so many experiences and memories with the art in the background, they may associate that human with the art that shaped them. Maybe again, right, Paul? Maybe it's because I don't subscribe to the stuff, and I watch Charlie Kirk sometimes here and there. I saw him on YouTube like everybody else, and every now and then I stop in the scroll and listen to what he had to say to a degree. But I don't get that wrapped up in none of them like that. You know, what are they doing for me? Like really, what really and genuinely, what are they doing? And I'm not saying that everybody that you care about got to be doing something for you, but at the end of the day, If I had been the one to check out, I guarantee you wasn't none of them people crying out narrative for me because they don't even know who I am. And even if they had heard about it on the news, it would have been, oh, okay, pass the salt. Let me go get a cappuccino, whatever. It wouldn't have mattered. Right, Natalie? I'm surprised Ozzy made it that long too. You ain't never lied, because again, he had him a good old time, and I ain't mad at him. Like I said, bro, man won. He rode it till the wheels fell off, became a rock legend, Hall of Famer, went through the whole drug nonsense, still wound up with a good woman by his side, got himself together, kids together. He died with his family intact and around him. He won. Big time won. His life should be celebrated. Oh, the hypnosis, yeah. Yeah, definitely Iron Butterfly. What Brittany was or saying, or Natalie was saying about meditation and doing energy cleanse, meditation, some shadow work, that kind of stuff, so you can get down to the real skinny of what it is you're really sad and mourning about, because it probably ain't even him, not for real. It's something else in your system. I mean, that may have triggered it. Now, here's the thing. I also want you to stop and consider whether you are actually mourning him or are you just in a heightened emotional state right now, because I am very much in a heightened emotional state. I'm not crying over any one person, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't go in the short reels for 15 minutes without crying over something. Hopefully most of the time it's happy tears, but almost anything that touches anybody emotionally these days can start me up crying if I think about it long enough. Now, I'm not going to be boohoo crying and can't function the rest of my day, but I want you to consider maybe you're just in a heightened emotional state because of all of the energies that are flowing around. But again, in any event, meditation, spiritual cleansing, shadow work will definitely help you. You say you bummed out about the Charlie Kirk thing because it's like the genre of commentary person you've seen your whole life just feels like escalation because you saw essentially a symbol get killed that you know. Um, yeah, I mean, again, I'm probably the wrong one to be agreed because my the other thing that I get caught up in now that I understand life and death, it's hard for me to get like majorly caught up in grief over death anyway. It's literally just stepping out of one vehicle into another. And I've also been shown in meditation that there are a lot of people leaving the planet at this time. They're making quick exits there. We had all of us have several different exit points that we could choose to make an early exit out of this experience, if you will. And there are quite a few of them that are leaving at this time so that they can turn around and do a quick turnaround and come back, because I'm trying to tell you 2036 and beyond is going to be lit. And some of them are coming back to do some things that they may not have been able to accomplish then. And some of them are just leaving the physical plane because they have work to do in the non-physical plane. Like Yeshua, he don't need to come back here physically because he's more effective. He's moving all over the planet, shaping the minds of thousands of people to get his word out there in the non-physical. He's way more effective in the non-physical than he would be if he chose to come back here physically. Now, if you start thinking about it like that, there's some of these folks that may have been doing some things or whatever they chose to be working on here in the physical that they need to switch up, and they got more important work to do in the non-physical, so they choose an early exit point. Could be that. I don't know, you know, but it could be. Yeah, and again, I don't. Brittany, same. I don't want nobody to think that I was celebrating that man's unaliving. Absolutely not. It's a terrible thing, but I just can't see getting so worked up that here it is, a week almost. Like I said, yeah. I'm not gonna continue mourning him like it was my sister. No. Oh, you're welcome, Iron Butterfly. Yeah, yeah, I do. Like, well, truthfully, on you said if you feel more like who's next, the Charlie Kirk thing just makes things more uncertain domestically in the country, shows that things could go south. That's one way of looking at it, but I honestly don't even feel like it's a who's next. I honestly feel like it was just strategically planned to keep our eye off of something else that they don't want us to look at. It's a shiny bouncing ball for us to a diversion, keep people focused on that. Yeah, Antoine, I feel you. Well, here's the thing, yeah. Charlie Kirk ain't had nothing to do with whether or not people choose to connect about their differences. Now, that's where we're going to really have to, because honestly, he was just stirring in a pot because it was cool. It was serving his purpose to be controversial. There ain't nothing that Charlie Kirk ever said out his mouth that I needed to hear him say in order for me to be a decent human being and make the right decisions. And nobody else either. He kept an argument going for the sake of keeping an argument going. And some people will say that that's something that needs to be done, but that's like them people that keep stirring around talking about we got to remember slavery in order to keep it from happening again. No, we don't. All we got to do is tell the truth and decide that we're above that and let it go. They keep racism and slavery and issues like that alive to keep us divided. So truthfully, he was trying to do a good thing, but Charlie Kirk stirred a pot that did not need to be stirred in the way it was being stirred. It just keeps us divided. That's all. Now I appreciate his right to say what he needed to say, and nobody needed to unalive him for saying it. But at the real spiritual crux of things, that's the wrong side of the fence to be standing on. It's really kind of counterintuitive to just stir a pot, just keep an argument going just for the hell of keeping an argument going. Not really. You said you cried that the Carolina Panthers won over the Atlanta Falcons today. I ain't even trying to be funny, and I don't really know that much about football, but that wasn't even that phenomenal a win. You should have seen that one coming, Paul. And I live in Atlanta. I'm just saying, but I feel you. If I can cry over a Hallmark commercial, you can cry over the Panthers. Hey, Raj Rodriguez. But again, Raj, right? When was the last time there was a political assassination in front of so many? Well, most of the time they do their dirt behind the scenes and we just hear about it on the news later. But they attempted to unalive the president earlier this year. Remember that? And I think they attempted to unalive an African president or two or three in the past few months. You say you didn't know about him, you wouldn't know he was dead. Yeah. Honestly, if you didn't use it, ain't even about knowing about him. If you didn't use YouTube, you wouldn't know. If you didn't watch TV and didn't use YouTube, you would have no idea who he was to mourn his death. Your mom cried over the Hallmark commercials too. Yeah. DeWalt Dyson, are you his brother or sister? That's just an ignorant question, period. Y'all ain't gotta let him go. Let his little ignorant self shine. It don't matter. Why would you ask me about George Floyd? What that got to do with anything we talking about? See what I mean? People that keep harping on stuff that don't need to be harped on just for the sake of making some kind of a weird whatever, making a splash when there don't need to be a splash made. There was a whole lot of other folks unalive besides George Floyd, a lot of them less guilty than he was. Why you talking about George Floyd up in here? Again, I'm not happy that that man got unalive, but he wasn't doing the right things and he was not innocent. Now, of course, what happened to him was wrong, and I'm hoping, I don't know what all happened to the people that did whatever. This is social media, but I also am not entertaining a bunch of nonsense and idiots. I got thick enough skin, but that don't mean you need to come up in here talking foolishness because you're not going to redirect my live stream that way. This is not a political channel. We're doing enough talking as it is, way more political talk than I would normally do. Nobody need to come in here and tell me how I can block whatever I choose to if I wanted to. This isn't your channel. If you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, go create your channel and discuss it. That's what you need to do. People make me sick with that, coming telling people what they got to let them do on their own channel. You wouldn't walk up to nobody's house and do that because you would be expecting to get smacked in the face. If you walked up to a stranger's house and just insisted on barging in their house and just taking over their whole conversation, how rude. So what makes you think that because you're online that it's okay to do that? People hide behind the anonymity of online and lose their absolute humanity. They lose their decency, they lose their maturity, they lose their intelligence, and they lose their humanity. And then still want to try to call themselves, no, but your mama is. Nah, go talk to George Floyd and your mama and his mama too. How about that? That part. My children wouldn't be out there acting a fool like that. My children have no felonies. My children ain't out slinging drugs nowhere. My children ain't out running up with 15 baby mamas and all the rest of that. I got children that are law abiding, productive members of society. That part. They are just ignorant for no daggone reason. Yeah, and I did, but I'm not gonna stay on that because he's not worth my energy much longer. So he got about all of it that he can get. We can go on back to something else now. And Roz, I understand that to a degree, but this that kind of goes back to what I was talking to one of them other trolls that came in early on before you came into the live stream. Unfortunately, Christians are so judgmental and radical that they think that they can just browbeat everybody into seeing things their way, repent and have life. First of all, who is Charlie Kirk or anybody else to decide that everybody in America need to repent and turn to the Bible? Christianity ain't the only religion on this planet. Just because it's a choice he made for himself and his family don't mean that that's the choice that he need to waterboard nobody else with. You know what I mean? That part, that entire part, they are do-gooders who swear up and down they got all the answers, and because they got all the answers, then they got to be the loudest voice in every room in order to push their narrative out on people, and it genuinely it leaves a really bad taste in people's mouths, especially when you look around at what's really happening within Christianity. They're some of the most hypocritical, violent people you ever want to see, but they sit and look down their nose and judge everybody else. No, I'm not saying that you are a troll. I'm saying I was talking about the subject of the way Christians get so radical They feel like it's their God-given duty to tell the whole world what they got to do. They come in with the Jesus loves you and I'm gonna pray for you and all the rest of that stuff. And most of them don't even understand the real background of the religion they practice. They don't really understand that even though their religion has Christ in the title, it is anything but Christ like. Yeshua was not promoting the religion that is called Christianity. That religion didn't even come about until 300 years after they attempted to unalive him. And his whole ministry on this planet was busy telling the Jews that they got it wrong, that they were not supposed to be worshiping Yahweh, that Yahweh was a liar, a manslayer, and that he was the devil. Yeshua said that to the Jews directly in the Gospel of John. You don't know my Father. You don't know the one that sent me. You worship your father, the devil. And what did they do? They got so mad at him for saying that they unalived him. And then in the most horrific act of hypocrisy that's ever been done on this planet, they turned around after he clearly stated that Yahweh was not the Elohim who sent him. That was not the Elohim that the Jews should be worshiping. The Jews turned around and had the Romans unalive him, and the Romans turned around and put him in the middle of that lie to promote Yahweh worship on the rest of the world, and lied and said that Yeshua was Yahweh's son, and that Yahweh wanted to turn the masses to worshiping, that Yeshua wanted to turn the masses to worshiping Yahweh. That's a 180-degree lie. And they did it by unaliving that beautiful prophet, yogi, and teacher, that ascended master, and got the whole world worshiping the devil in the name of Jesus Christ. I read the Bible all the time, DeWalt Dyson. You need to read it. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, we're gonna read John right now. Because like I say, if you go to my content, I got plenty of talks in there, reading, talking directly from the scriptures. But I'm over here in the Gospel of John, chapter 8. We read it quite a bit on this channel. We read the Bible almost every time I get on here in one fashion or another. Starting in verse 40, wait a minute, yeah, 42. Yeshua said to them, if Elohim were your father, you would love me. For I came from Elohim and I am here. I came not of my own accord, but he sent me. Why do you not understand what I say? It is because you cannot bear to hear my word. You are of your father, the devil, and your will is to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. But because I tell the truth, you do not believe me. He was not talking to the Pharisees or the Sadducees. He was speaking directly to the Jews. And they hated him for it, and they sought to have him unalived for it. And they delivered him up to the Romans. The Romans said, I can find no fault with this man. Surely we have a custom of releasing one of the prisoners. Why don't I release this man to you? And they said, oh, no. They insisted, they demanded that Yeshua be unalived because they were sick of him telling them that they were worshiping the wrong Elohim. Hey, baby bra and the crew, what's up? You said you have a question, Kenya? Go right ahead. Yeah, he did call it the synagogue of Satan because it is the synagogue of Satan, Brittany. He understood the lineage of Yahweh. He understood that Yahweh is Enlil, and Enlil's title is Satan of Eden. Yahweh, Jehovah, is Satan the devil. That's the part they don't get. Good night, Paul. See you later. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Love you all. Namaste. Baby bro, absolutely. I do encourage you. If you like what's going down here, you like if you picking up what I'm putting down, definitely subscribe to the channel. We get into other information. We look into the scriptures. I highly encourage you. I have no idea, Roz. I haven't looked into it any further because when I found out that the live stream, I mean the um, super thanks and super chats, that YouTube takes 30% of it. I didn't. I kind of lost my. It doesn't make sense to me to even bust my butt to get monetized on here for the little bit that I was getting. If they're gonna take 30% of it off the top, you know what I'm saying? If you wish to donate to the channel, I do have a buy me a coffee page. The link to it is on my about description on the channel, as well as the home page of the channel. If you tap there, and I think it takes Apple Pay, and I think it even does like Cash App and all of that, but you can donate on Buy Me a Coffee if you wish. Okay. I might get monetized on here at some point, but I'm in the process. Oh, you're welcome. You're certainly welcome. My email is also there if anybody wants to, a one-on-one conversation or a private reading. I do tarot as well. We certainly can. You can email me at modernmysticmessages@gmail.com, and we can get together that way. But yeah, baby bro and the crew, if you like what's happening here, if you email me at modernmysticmessages@gmail.com, or anyone that's within the sound of my voice as well, if you email me, I'll send you a link to our WhatsApp group. We also get share information there as well. And sometimes some of the things, like when we didn't do anything for the new moon um, tonight, but when we get to the full moon, we'll probably be doing another full moon ritual. And I don't do those live, I don't do those on a live or upload them here. The ones that want in on that, we set our intentions and I film it and upload it to the WhatsApp group, that kind of stuff. We just kind of keep it off the radar here because there are so many trolls and stuff, but that's a place where you can kind of reach out and ask personal questions and have interactions with other folks that are in here and about the same information. But yeah, the as far as the whole Yeshua thing though, and for those who are okay, email me. Yeah, email me at modernmysticmessages@gmail.com. And Niana, I'm gonna write you down because I got your email. I just have to write myself a note so that I remember to do it. Bear with me a second. Email Niana. WhatsApp link. Okay. Email me, Natalie Rose, and I'll send you the link. Some folks have told me they have a hard time getting to it, just going into WhatsApp. It's a public group. I don't know why people can't find it, but if you email me or DM me on Instagram, I'm Modern Mystic Messages there too. But if you DM me on Instagram or email me at modernmysticmessages@gmail, then I can directly send you an invite link that'll take you right to it. Modern Mystic Messages at gmail.com is the email. You'll see it on the about page of the channel also. Yeah, because honestly, the what we it and I would, hey Donovan Dawes, how are you? I would also encourage you. Oh, you're welcome, Natalie. Um, yeah, bro, I would yeah, if you honestly, if you can't, then that's fine. We are working on um doing some group manifestation stuff as well. It's a love exchange. As far as that, I definitely understand a lot of us are going through financial difficulties and all as well. So do what you can. It's not necessary for you to donate to the channel to be included in the WhatsApp group. If you can donate, it's highly appreciated, but it is not required. Okay, so please don't let that stop you from connecting with us. If you could, yeah, because trust me, I understand a lot of the chosen are going through that. We are closing out cycles of poverty, but we're also coming into a season next year. And whenever you're able to, you'll pay it forward some kind of way. So I'm not even worried about that part. Oh, and thank you, Brittany, for putting it up there. I can't type in here in the live stream for whatever reason during the baby bra. I would also encourage you to go into some of the um playlists that I have here. It's been a minute since I got to get back to doing some of the uploads. I mean, right now I'm working on finishing the Book of Enoch, but if you go into the playlist Modern Mystic Loved Ones here on this channel, it goes back almost 2 years, for sure. Like the last year or so has been focused on a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, as far as who Enlil and Enki are, how it fits into the Bible and the scheme of things, how that affects us, like going into the end times, how it relates to Revelation, all of that, as well as I would also encourage you to look at the Emerald Tablets playlist, because we read the Emerald Tablets in there, but we also go back through and look at the compendium of the Emerald Tablets. And there's some very good insights that came out of that. It really helped me kind of understand and solidify, for me anyway, in my opinion, from what I've seen in the Gospel of John, as well as Revelation and the Gospel of Matthew, and the Emerald Tablets, looking at all of those side by side, and knowing what I, like I said, what I learned from the Lost Book of Enki, I firmly believe that Yeshua was the second incarnation of Thoth. All right, yeah, you got to go. All right, have a good one, and thank you so much for joining us. And oh, absolutely. Good night, Roz. You leaving out too? I'm probably on my way out too as well. In fact, it's 11 o'clock on the dot, and you know what time that is. Because the trolls will be on their way. So I'm going to say good night as well. It's been a blast. Time has just flown, flown, flown. We'll be back here on Modern Mystic Messages on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. I'm going to do my best to really, really make it in at 8 this time. But again, like I said, if you have tarot questions or just want to hang out a little bit, I will be live on Anunnaki Oracle Priestess, my other channel, tomorrow at 11 a.m. And I am going to scoot now so I get a little sleep and be prepared for that. And I hope to see you there, folks. Love you. Love you. Peace and blessings to you. Namaste. All right, Miss Brittany. Sure enough. See you later.